ball, talk a pick and roll. We gon' up the score, touchdown, this is not field goal. We the winning team champions when you walk through the halls.
Hey everyone, it's Bryanna Sports and Pick'em Pros, and I have a very special interview today who means a lot to both Michigan and Arizona, Devin Booker. And this interview actually means a lot to me as well because I grew up in Michigan like you did, and I left around the same age that you did as well. I was 13 when I left Michigan, and no matter where I go, Michigan's always home, no matter what. And so today we're going to bring those worlds together, Michigan and Arizona, and have a great time interviewing.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
Good. I'm glad you're excited to be here because it makes me feel a lot better.
There we go.
Okay, so we're going to start with a few fan questions from Michigan. They sent in a few questions, and they're really good, I will just say. So, Sydney from Caledonia. Do you know if I'm saying that right?
Yeah.
I am?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought this whole time I wasn't.
No, that's right.
Okay, so Sydney from Caledonia wants to know, do you have any memories playing at the courthouse in Byron Center?
I do. That's where majority of my grassroots started. I played for a team called Granville Elite because I lived in Granville, and then I eventually tried out for the Courthouse Kings. So it was a green team, and my mother actually just recently brought over my jersey from the courthouse, so I put it in the archives.
Yeah. When you were there, did it get in your mind that you will make it to the NBA, or was it a little bit after that when you realized?
It was always a dream, but I took it, I say one step at a time.
Right.
First, I wanted to make my JV team as a freshman. Ended up getting moved up to JV halfway through the year, but I started on freshman. And then once I got to high school, free college was, my goal. And then once I got to college and I was surrounded by a bunch of guys at Kentucky that were considered, top NBA draft picks, that's where, my real dream started, where I was like, I want to make it to the NBA.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Just to hear that story, it means a lot because you just did not give up. You kept pushing, so that's amazing. All right, and then Caleb from Grand Rapids, he wants to know, when you come back home, what's the first thing you like to do or a place you like to go? Me personally, have you heard of Toasted Pickle in Grand Haven?
I have not.
Okay, well, that might have to be a place that you might have to stop. It has the best sandwiches, I will just say. That's my go-to place.
I'm Yesterdog, downtown, in Bricktown, Grand Rapids. I still go. You can flip the quarter into a little, you can shoot it. I forgot what it's into, but you get a free dog if you make it. But yeah, a lot of my friends are still back home. Every 4th of July, we go back to Michigan. This summer, we did Arcadia, Michigan, northern Michigan, a little bit of Harbor Springs. So, nothing's like home.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet you made it and you got a free hot dog every time.
Not every time, but
almost,
I
yeah.
have.
Okay, and then Travis from Grand Haven, he wants to know, what was the most valuable lesson or practice that you learned from Kobe?
There were so many. I mean, honestly, growing up in Michigan, being a Pistons fan, we weren't the biggest fans of Kobe.
Right.
So we played them in the finals. We ended up beating them. So that was a big part of my childhood. But then everybody respected him. You might not have liked him when he played, but, you respected the mentality. You respected the competitiveness. And, Kobe's last year was my first year in the NBA. And, he left me with a lot of great words. And people always told me, he wasn't so open to everybody. And I think I was one of the very few that, he invited me to GG's basketball tournament out here in Arizona, to spend time with the girls and just being around him, man. He was super punctual, and he worked the hardest out of anybody.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see where you get it from.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to move over to Arizona because this is your home now too. So there's a lot of people that love and support you here in Arizona. And the first one is John from Chandler, who is actually my cousin, fun fact.
Okay.
But growing up in Grand Rapids, how was that transition when you went to Moss Point to pursue your basketball career?
Ooh, it was tough, honestly. I had a little bit of experience in Mississippi because I used to leave Michigan in the summer. My dad played overseas, so he'd get 2 months off, and that's when I would leave Michigan to go down there. So it wasn't like my first time in Mississippi when I moved down there, but it was definitely a culture shock. From the Midwest to deep, deep South,
Right.
there's many different values of living. it's both simple living, I would say. You know, in Michigan, you're sitting by a fire.
Right.
In Mississippi, you know, you're sitting on the porch or sitting in the garage playing cards. So Southern hospitality is a real thing. You know, I learned how to, you know, respect my elders at a higher level than I did growing up in Michigan. But I take both values from both places, and that's kind of what made me.
Yeah, no, I love that. I've been to the South many times. I was just in North Carolina, and it's amazing to be there. Everyone's so, like, nice.
Yeah.
And just like the Midwest, I guess, but it feels better down, I think. All right, now DJ, who's, you might guess it, also my cousin.
Okay. So you have a lot of family out here.
Yes, I do. Not in Michigan, though, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a whole different story for me. A different time, you know? But if you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, which would you choose?
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough.
I know, you love music, so there's a lot of options.
And it has to be Drake.
Yeah, obviously.
So,
I agree.
yeah.
I agree with that.
So I'm looking for some versatility, which he has. I go, Nothing Was the Same.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
He's smiling off camera. He might have called that one.
He did.
He called that one? Okay.
He did. No, I agree. I love Drake. I listen to him a lot. Yeah.
The album dropped, I think, right during my transition to Mississippi. So I think my sophomore year of high school, I was about 15 years old, and you know, I had a 35-minute drive to school every day, and that album, it got me through my transition.
And now Cam from Flagstaff, not a cousin. He could be though. We don't know. But there are a lot of young hoopers looking up to you. So what's your message to them when they want to make it to the league? What would you say to them?
I say back to what, you know, I said earlier, you know, take it one step at a time. It's it's an everyday grind. And, you know, the work shows. Right. You know, you can try to cheat your way through. You can try to do 6 reps instead of 10. But at the end of the day, like, once the lights are on, it's going to come to light. So, you know, fall in love with it. I think that's something I never had a problem with. I've always loved the game, and you know, you'll be around a lot of people that, surprisingly, in the NBA or in college, that, you know, you feel like they're just checking the box being there. Like, they were tall growing up, so they had to play basketball. Right. But, you know, once you fall in love with your work, you fall in love with getting better. You know, it makes the whole lifestyle a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. I played basketball when I was little, but obviously I wasn't very good. I'm like tiny, so I was point guard, but you know, I wasn't very good. But I did try and push through. But one time I was playing in the snow and I was like so over. I wanted to go home. I was like crying, I think.
Yeah, it's meant for indoors.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, why am I playing outside? But anyway, moving on. So I know that Arizona has become home for you, and in the off season, you spend a lot of time up north in places like Flagstaff and Sedona. Do those places kind of remind you of Michigan, or you just see them as their own getaway space?
A little bit of both. I'd say Flag more than Sedona,
right.
With the terrain, with the trees, and like I said, by a fire. We spend a lot of time by the fire up there, and you know, it's nice to have balance. You know, people see me up there, but I do travel a lot. I go to Europe very often, so I always say balance. You know, I'll go spend 2 weeks in Flag, then take a week vacation, and you know, go to Saint-Tropez or something like that. So I've always enjoyed traveling. I feel like I'm learning the most, you know, when I'm tapping into other people's cultures, other people's environment, and you know, I have fun with it.
Yeah, that's good. My goal is to go out of country one of these years.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
And then when you're here in the Valley, what is like your favorite thing about the Valley, whether it's the food, the people, or the beautiful sunsets?
All three. Do I have to rank?
No, you don't have to rank it. No.
I was gonna say, you know, the people, you know, starting with that, you know, I've always got my space here too. Like, even though people know who I am, they'll give a quick hello, enjoy your day, but you know, nothing too taxing, nothing too invasive. You know, they treat me as if I'm one of them, and you know, you can't beat the sunsets, like you said.
I know.
Sunrises also.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful place to be.
It is. I like to go and hole in the rock and watch the sunset from there. It's so pretty. I just love it. Because in Michigan, like, you get beautiful sunsets, but I feel like here it's just different.
Yeah, 300 days a year it feels like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. And now I have a few questions on my own to tag along with everyone else. If you could drop into any era of basketball, which one would you choose, and why?
Another good question.
Thank you.
I love our era. I love the evolution of the game and what it's coming to. sometimes I sit back, like, imagine like Wemby in the 90s or
Right.
even Carl, like a 7'1" or 2 guys shooting deep threes.
Right.
Like, the evolution of the game has been so crazy, especially being a student of the game and tapping into those 80s and 90s eras. But I'd say early 2000s, Allen Iverson, you know what I'm saying, that time.
Yeah, I like Allen Iverson. I watch highlights because I was barely alive when he was playing, obviously. But when I look back, I'm like, geez, he was a real deal. He was trouble.
Real deal.
Yeah. Okay. And then you've always talked about how close you are with your family and your parents. What is one thing that a family member has taught you that has really stuck with you to this day?
I'd say my mother, just watching her grind every day, working 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's a different type of grind outside of sports, but, you've seen the wear and tear on the body. You've seen her come home exhausted and still the next morning just ready to go. And that's the mindset that I take to work every day with me. My dad, kind of similar, but he was overseas most of my childhood, so I didn't get to watch the development of a pro and what he was actually doing over there. But I think knowing that your dad's a professional basketball player and getting to watch highlights of him even furthermore inspired me to keep going.
Yeah, that's good. I agree with you. My mom, she is exactly the same way. She'll work hours and hours just to support me and my sister, no matter what it takes.
Shout out to mom.
Yeah, shout out to my mom.
There she is. Aw.
Oh, she's so cute.
She is.
Okay, so sorry, she distracted me off the class. Sorry, Mom. Well, didn't mean to make her cry. Love you, Mom. Okay, what's one lesson about leadership that you had to learn the hard way?
I would say it comes in so many different forms, and in sports, I feel like people always feel like the right way is the team that's winning.
Right.
Everyone has their different leadership styles. Some are super loud with it. Some people lead by example and lead by action. So, I just realized everybody, takes leadership in different ways. So developing personal relationships with your teammates or the people you work with if it's not basketball, and see what, just see what works the best for the type of person that you're trying to lead.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Love it. And then with how demanding your schedule is, because you travel multiple times a week, how do you just regain yourself? Because me, if I travel once every few months, I'm dead for a whole week. So how do you do it with traveling so much?
Yeah, I mean, it's sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep super
good one,
important. It's became even more important as my career kept going. My early years, I feel like I could stay up to 2 or 3 and wake up at 8 and go to practice and be fine. But now I'm getting my 9-10 hours consistently, and just recovery. I spend a lot of time on my body. Credit our training staff, my masseuse that I have that's out here. That's majority of my day is practice, go home, treatment for another 2 hours, cold tub, sauna.
Yeah, those are good. And then how would you describe the energy of yourself and your team? And what do you think is contributing to that energy this season?
I'd say we're young and youthful.
Yeah.
It changed quickly from me being, the youngest guy on the team most of my career to, and now I'm the second or third oldest. And, we have a lot of youth, a lot of guys 22 and under, and they honestly carry the energy through the locker rooms. It's like last game, it was a back-to-back, so we played in Dallas, had to fly here, got home at 2, 3 a.m., had to play the next day. I come into the locker room, I'm wore out, honestly.
Yeah.
I came in, it was like they hadn't played in a week. The whole locker room was rapping, jumping around, ready to go, and, I felt off that energy, and, we ended up handling business.
Yeah, that's always good when you have amazing teammates to help you out too, especially on those long days.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. And then with Thanksgiving coming up, I do have to ask, what's something you're most thankful for right now, whether it's on or off the court?
I say always family, say health is important. It's the only thing we got. So as long as my family's healthy and happy, I'm going to be in a good place.
Yeah, that's good. I'll piggyback off you and agree with that one.
Yeah.
And then I do have to ask this one as well. Who is or what is Savage Swingman from Slam Magazine?
Savage Swingman? I'm not familiar.
Really? It's you? Here. Yeah, here, look at this card. That's you, right? when you were
yeah,
21.
Yeah, 21-year-old
Yeah.
Savage. Yeah, I remember that. That was a good tagline they put on there.
Yeah, what is the backstory with that?
They did it. I would think that might have been my first slam cover. And then I didn't see it till the day it came out. I was 21, and then obviously the play on 21 Savage. And
do you like that
I like
nickname
what they
still?
did. I'm not 21 anymore,
Yeah.
but
I mean, you could still be a Savage Swingman.
29-year-old Savage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can still be. Age is just a number, You can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
You can be whoever you want.
The Savage is in there somewhere still.
Yeah, exactly. We see it on game days with over 30 points a game. That's definitely a Savage man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. And then I do have to ask this one as well. I have so many that I just have to ask.
Okay.
So you did get asked this, and you just said it was a good question, but we never got the actual answer. What is your favorite
Place to eat?
Yes, in the valley.
Arizona?
Yeah. Don't say it's just a good question again.
It is a great question.
I know there's a lot of places.
Yeah, and I don't want to.
Favorite one or the other.
Yeah, I don't want to. Global Ambassador. It's the hotel right next door. They have 3 restaurants in there, and they're all hits to me. So if you get a chance to go over there,
Yes, maybe I will
some
after
good
this.
eats.
You never know.
Good eats.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was all of our questions, and I do just want to personally thank you because you are basically the foundation of my career right now. So I really do appreciate you, and on behalf of everyone in Michigan and Arizona, we love you and we thank you a lot for everything that you do.
No, thanks for coming. This is the, example of hard work. It's probably been a few months now of, people sending me the video of you, sending me the video of you, and then, I'm glad it came to life.
Yeah, me too. So thank you so much. And also, as someone who left West Michigan chasing a dream, it's inspiring to see how far you've taken yours.
Your turn.
It's my turn. Yes, thank you.
Pressure's on.
I know. No pressure. I'm good under pressure and no pressure. I can do it.
I heard that.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks
I
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
I pick 'em like a pro, global tron ball, talk a pick and roll. We gon' up the score, touchdown, this is not field goal.